Hey guys, drdecks here. Today I want to talk to you about the new DeWalt 15 gauge finish gun, model number DCN650. This is a brushless 15 gauge finish nailer, and we don't use our finish nailer a ton in our projects, but we do use it for specific tasks, and that's kind of what I want to talk to you about. Probably the one thing that we've done the most of is we've done a lot of tongue and groove pine ceiling softening in a lot of our deck builds, and we have found that the specialized tip on this gun, I really like it. It's really got a great kind of a pinpointed tip that allows you to get really close to your tongue and get the nails to go in the right spot when you're doing tongue and groove. The worst thing I see is like on some soffits I look up, and if you look really carefully you can see every single nail that's been installed in the soffitting, and I can't stand that. So I like to make sure my nails get hidden so that when the groove comes in, it covers up the tongue, it covers up the nail, and you have a really nice attachment. So this is a 15 gauge. It takes up to a 2.5 inch finish nail, which is what we run a lot in our guns. These are galvanized. They have a staggered head on the nail, so they're clipped, I would say, is another term that people use, is the nail heads are clipped, so they're kind of stacked. These nails that fit this finish gun are around 32 degrees. I don't know the exact degree. I tried to look it up on the internet, but it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. I spent 5 minutes. Everybody says, yeah, it's an angled finish gun. They're 15 gauge. You can get up to 1.25 to 2.5 inches long. Found out all that information. That's great. But I couldn't figure out what the degree was. I tried to take it to my square, and I came up with about 32 degrees. So this gun shoots a 32 degree approximate. And I'm using galvanized. I don't use bright. I never use bright nails. I always use galvanized nails because basically everything we do is exterior. And if you don't use a galvanized nail, it's going to rust, or stainless steel. I've also Simpson and some other brands make a stainless steel version that'll run through these guns. We have had issues with the Simpson nails running through this DeWalt gun. It's like a 2-inch long stainless steel brad nail or finish nail, and it worked pretty good at times, but then sometimes it would get hung up and stuck and caught in the gun. I don't think that they're glued together the same or something like that, and it's kind of weird, the tape, or it comes apart real easy, so you got to watch out. You got to take really good care of those type of nails. A couple other features: there is a light on the LED light on the gun, which comes in kind of handy when you're in some closed spaces. Even outside, we've used these lights quite a bit. There is also a trigger where you can do single or sequential firing. And then something else that I've never used but might come in handy for some of you is there is a 16-inch on center gauge. So from the head of the gun to the edge of this piece of plastic right here is 16 inches. So if you're doing some quick work and you just needed something to slam some stuff together at 16 inches on center, you can pull that out and use that as well. And it just comes back together onto the magazine with just a friction clip. The magazine for the loading mechanism, it is a click, it's like a click back. And there's a spring right here, so it kind of friction holds the nails in place while you load them. And then once you get past that friction area, then it slides pretty easy, and then all you have to do is push down on this lever, and then the spring-loaded feeding mechanism will keep tension on your nail and keep it pushed up against the front of the gun. Another cool feature is if you get a nail that gets bound up or bent, or you hit something hard, it's easy to take the nose of this gun off and eject the nail, get it out of there, and then you can just put this back in, reload, reset your plunger, and you're good to go. So I've explained to you one thing that we use this gun for. There's also a trigger lock in case for portability. If you don't want it to go off in your box, or if you're rumbling around, you can lock out the trigger. There it is, active and ready to go. Like most of the nail guns that DeWalt makes, the cordless ones, they spool up when you use them. So when you depress the trigger, or the head of the gun, when you depress the head, it's gonna spool up. Or if you pull the trigger, it's gonna spool up. All right? So I've already told you the one thing that we use the gun for a lot is for softening, tongue and groove pine or cedar soffit. But another thing that we use this gun for a lot, this is probably our main reason we use this gun, is that when we're attaching joists to the house, to a ledger, let's just imagine this is a ledger board. It's hung up against the house, and we want to put a joist, and we want to put joist hangers on here, but every joist we use is a different thickness. But we want this joist to be flat to the top of our ledger board like this. How do you get this thing on here temporarily so you can get a joist hanger on it at the right elevation? Well, what we do is we come in, we flush our top, and then I'll go through and I'll add probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 joists. Depends on the size of the joist. Okay, and I'm noticing I need, because I'm pumping at angles, I'm gonna have to pull my trigger out just a little bit. So I'm gonna do that real quick. There's a depth setting right here, and there's a gauge that says, okay, if you want your nails to go super deep, pull this plunger back all the way. If you want them to be exposed a little bit, you pull the plunger out. I gotta pull this plunger out a little bit because I need it to activate on an angle. And if I have it all the way down, there we go. Now it's activating every time I pull a nail up against it. So now that we have this temporarily, now a lot of guys are like, doctor, can't you just use a framing gun and do the same exact thing? Yes, you can. But if I put a couple nails in, framing nails, it's gonna crack the ends of this a lot. A lot of the time it'll crack the ends, and I just don't like that. I don't like cracks in the ends of my boards. So 6 finish nails, you know, I've actually made the mistake of walking on these with finish nails before. It's not safe. I don't recommend you do that. But I've done it on accident without the joist hanger being on here. It's a very solid connection. But it's not designed to actually hold any weight. It's just designed to hold the joist in place until we get a joist hanger on it, and then it's safe. Okay, so if I have a square line, let's just say that's my square line, or even if it's out of square and I want to put my joist to that angle, now I can hold my joist to that line, make sure it's flush at the top, and then I can just go in and knock a few finish nails in it. Oop, must have hit a knot. All right, and there you go. Now I can put my joist hanger on there and make it safe to walk on, make it safe to use. A lot of people will use this finish gun also for just attaching trim pieces to molding and crown molding and doors and door molding and cove and all that stuff. So great feature for that. Cordless, so you don't have to have an air hose and an air compressor. I think I saw them going for around $320 online at Lowe's, Home Depot, and on Amazon. So that comes with a battery and a charger as well. So hope you like this video, guys. If you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button, hit that bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. Don't forget to comment below and like our videos. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.